Hit it,
Got it.
excited.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, carnivores and apex predators of the digital realm, welcome to the most ferociously entertaining event of your week. It's Monday, and that can only mean one thing. It's time for the Fierce FeLions broadcast. I am one of your co-hosts, Laura, from Eat to Your Health with Carnivore.
Get ready to unleash your inner beast as we dive into the wild world of carnivorous content with a dash of humor, a sprinkle of knowledge, and a whole lot of roaring excitement. I am one of your co hosts, Robin Heron, your carnivorous grandma.
Yes, and I am your co-host G Brown, the lifestyle changer. And alongside me is our untamed team of feline fangs, prowling the virtual jungle to bring you the latest in carnivorous escapades, jaw dropping, that's a tongue twister, facts, and a whole lot of fun.
Whether you're a meat-loving carnivore or just curious about the thrilling world of predators, this is the show for you. I'm your co-host, Rhonda Townsend at Carnivore Leo.
So lock in your coordinates, set your reminders, and sharpen those claws because every Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, the Fierce FeLions are going to whisk you away on a captivating journey into the heart of the wild. Join us for an hour of raw, unfiltered entertainment that's sure to leave you purring with excitement. It's time to pounce on another unforgettable episode of the Fierce FeLions. And I am your final co-host, Rebecca, with the Carnivore family.
Happy Monday,
Hey, everybody!
everybody!
Happy
Hello.
Monday. We're so excited
right,
to be
Robin?
here. Yes. So we're going to just go around the room and talk a little bit about how let's see, which thing? A brief update of how our week went last week. So I'm going to start. And I want to talk about the Chicago meetup. It was fantastic, you guys. I had the best time. I went to
I'm all ears, honey.
I went to the Chicago for the weekend, and my best friend went with me. I was so appreciative of her going with me. We went Friday and stayed till Sunday. On Saturday, we had the meetup. So we got an opportunity to meet up with Carrie from Homestead How and Emma. Oh my gosh, she's such a darling. I just love her so much. Also, I got to meet the Carnivore brothers, the Hoosier Carnivore, and a number of other carnivores that have their channels. The really cool thing, though, I thought was that they had carnivores there, or people who were just interested in being carnivores, interested in finding out more information about it, and also, trying to get some encouragement to start. There were several people there that were like that. 2 people thought I was G and asked me where my husband was. And the lady came up to me and was like, "So where's your husband?" I said, "Well, my husband's not carnivore." She's like, "Well, what happened? I thought he was on a walker." And I was like, "No, that's G." It was hilarious. Dr. Tony Hampton came in. The room just gave a shout and thankfulness for him coming in. He came in teaching, and he taught for like 20 minutes straight. And then he took the time to meet everybody in the room. And there were probably close to 50 people there. And he talked to every single person and heard their stories. 2 people were there that have already scheduled an appointment to meet with him as their doctor. So it was super awesome. After that, we went to Fogo de Chao, and I had my picanha for the very first time. It was absolutely incredible. I loved it. I hope that Healing Humanity, The Power of a Proper Human Diet movie will come back to Chicago or again or someplace close to me so I can go to a meetup again. It was absolutely fantastic.
Yes.
All right.
Look, we can't beat that. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
I know, that was like the highlight. We should have followed with that instead of leading.
Yeah.
Do it last.
No, my
awesome.
week's been pretty average for the most part. I have had family visiting from out of state. And that always brings up a lot of conversation because when you have somebody else staying with you and you're wanting to, be gracious and make sure that they have things to eat that they're used to, but had lots of conversations about the way we eat and why we do, and pleasantly surprised to find out that I actually have several extended family members, like cousins and great uncles that are doing the carnivore as well, and just surprised that my aunt is actually tried it, and she did it for the most part while she was here, but she's very interested in it for health reasons. And we just have lots of conversations and just trying to, encourage her. And I think she would, she's excited about it. Change is always hard. But it's just exciting to see that it's not becoming just sort of this little niche part of the internet anymore, that there's more and more people finding out about it and the benefits of it. So that was exciting for us this week.
That was for me. I went to up in Wilmington, which is about 2.5 hours away. But what happened is that a friend girl of mine, she's really like a bestie. What we met through the business that we have together. She has moved on since, and how we all see each other like this, and I feel like I know you, but until you actually in person. And so she came in from Ohio, and I told Frederick, I said, we have to drive and see her. And so she's been carnivore now for, I'm going to say 34 days. I know she's past her 30th. So I coached with her and another young lady for their first 30 days. And she was going to be with family. She didn't say anything, but then she ordered a burger, just the patty. And so she said that her, I think it was her daughter-in-law, looked over and said, "Are you carnivore?" And that just kind of blessed me that she saw that, because she said nothing. And then she said her son said that, no, before he started speaking, she said, I've been looking into that. I just didn't know if I wanted to try it. And then the son said, "Ma, why you didn't say anything? I've been looking into it too." But she really believes that her son is going to do this. And she said, "I'm going to go through his first 30 days with him as well," because it is so important. But for me, just like Rebecca just said, you have no idea who's watching this in silence, right? And just really didn't say anything. So that was pretty cool for me.
That's very
awesome.
Cool.
Well,
for me,
I'm sorry.
I thought it was my turn.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. For my last week, I admitted a patient in home health who has already had an amputation of just one of their toes, of course, diabetic. And I just kind of spent about an hour out of the hour and a half of my admission going over some little tweaks that this person could do to their diet. They were like 280 most of the time on their glucose monitor. And I was like, "You're never going to heal like that. That is too high. We've got to get those down." And I went to see them today. And as soon as I walked in, they took their little phone and put it up on their little Libre system. And they were 102. And that was after they had breakfast. And they had eggs and bacon. The foot looks wonderful, completely like I'll be able to take stitches out in a couple days. And I was just like, yes, one more. So that was my kind of win for the week, something that was really good.
That was.
That's awesome.
Okay, finally my turn. I'm so sorry again, Laura, for
It's okay.
getting out of order. Anyway, for me, what I had that happened interesting is that I went to my local farmer's market because I did purchase some, ribeyes from my local rancher, and I met another carnivore while I was there. So I thought that was very interesting. It was the first time I met someone in my town that was carnivore. Now he just recently started carnivore, so it's been about a month for him. So, we chatted for a while, exchanged information. I shared my YouTube channel. So hopefully I'll be keeping in touch. And also, I was looking for sugar-free bacon. So I went to another vendor and I just was talking to them and told them that I was carnivore and, looking for, the sugar-free bacon. And it's called Acorn Ranch. And what they do is they have their pigs forage in the forest and just feed off the acorns and the mushrooms. And so we were chatting and I asked him, said, do you mind if my husband and I contact you for an interview? And he said, yes. So I'm hoping we'll get to do that soon and share that video. And he asked me for my channel name, and I told him Carnivore Leo, and he goes, "Oh, my wife's a Leo." So it's like didn't sound like she was on the good side of the Leo, but I'm really excited about that. So of what's to come.
Awesome.
Love that. I love that. Very good. All right. So the title of this is Embracing Carnivore Living. So for those that didn't see our first show last Monday, you can check that out. But what we're going to do now, we're going to discuss the reasons why each feline decided to embrace this carnivore lifestyle. And I'll go first. For me, it had to do with my husband, and I didn't want him to get better and leave me behind. I was vegan prior to this. And with that, I had still vegan. In other words, let me say, vegan didn't cure anything for me. Okay. So it didn't, it highlighted a lot of things over time that was going on. So it did not get better. And so when my husband started, that's why whenever we give out our time, we're 2 days apart because I didn't jump right in. And so I did because I didn't want him to have all that energy, and I didn't. So I played follow the leader, and it worked for me. I'm so glad that we found out about this diet. Yes.
Well, I also started because of my husband. He was about almost a year and a half ago. He was admitted to the hospital with blood pressure of 230 over 100 and something. And we were just thankful he didn't have a stroke. And he knew it was time to make a change, that he was severely overweight. He was depressed. He had sleep apnea. He was on testosterone. He was on anxiety medication. And now we were looking at blood pressure medication. And he was borderline diabetic. And it's no way to live. And he's like, I have to make a change, or I'm just on my way out. So I said, anything you want to try, I will do it with you. I will, whatever you think you can stick to lose weight as like the first thing, we will just do it. And he wanted to try carnivore. He had heard of Dr. Berry and thought it was really interesting and thought it was something he could stick to. And we decided to change the whole family's lifestyle all at the same time. So we have 8 kids. And the kids we changed slower over about a 9-month period, but my husband and I started pretty much the day after he came home from the hospital. And it has been revolutionary for our family with weight loss. He's currently on no medications. And over that time, he's lost over 100 pounds. I've lost almost 50 pounds. And it's been great for our kids. So, it's hard to argue with those results. I don't know if anything else we could have done that we would feel this good as a result. So we're sold.
Yeah.
That's awesome, Rebecca. For me, it was more about, I knew that I had found out over the course of time that keto was not sustainable for me because I have a severe carb addiction, like a lot of people do. And so every time I would go back on keto, and I know that keto works really well, and it has worked for me in the past, but I kept creeping up on carbs, and then I would, like I always say, turn around 2 years later and I got to redo everything all again. So I have been like, I don't know if it's a professional dieter or a perpetual dieter for my whole life since the age of 11. I also had, issues that I thought would maybe clear up with Carnivore. I wasn't sure, but I did watch Dr. Berry also. And I heard all of these great benefits that he was getting. So I had IBS. I have severe eczema. One of these days I'll show a picture of what that looked like huge blisters in my hands and just my skin peeling all off. And then also severe debilitating anxiety to the point where I called my doctor and said, I need you to put me on something or else I'm not going to be able to function anymore. I'm pretty much don't want to leave my house. I don't want to drive. So I knew that, I just was seeing how many people were achieving great benefits from the carnivore way of eating. So February 22nd, 2023, I decided that I would try it and I will never go back because so many benefits I've already achieved, and that anxiety is way down from where it used to be. So I'm just looking forward to the ongoing internal healing that will allow that to eventually completely resolve.
That's great, Robin.
Awesome.
So my reason for embracing the carnivore lifestyle the main reason was to lower my blood pressure. I gave it a try to see if I could, because I tried everything else and my blood pressure remained elevated. So one day I ran across Dr. Anthony Chaffee's video called Plants Are Trying to Kill You. And so that video convinced me to just give it a try. So on January 2nd, 2023, I started Carnivore Life. And approximately 3 months later, my blood pressure normalized. And additionally, I lost the excess weight that I needed to lose and am now at my ideal body weight.
Excellent.
That's
amazing.
awesome.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah. So I, like you, Robin, I had done keto. I had done it for the 28 years and it was okay. It did work. I stayed on it and kept my carbs low. But as I was getting older, was getting joint pain. The acne was horrific. Just a lot of stuff like that. Brain fog was pretty bad. And plus I knew menopause was coming. And I was like, I need to have these hormones in check. The other reason is because I am a big believer that I can't tell a patient that they shouldn't be eating this or smack this out of their hand if I'm still doing that. So I knew that seeing all these people so metabolically sick that I didn't want to end up there for one. And for two, if I could show them, hey, look what I've done. And I show them my pictures and they're like, oh my God, I can't believe that was you. And that I'm healthy, in a family that everybody has massive heart attacks from the age of 40 to 62. And I've beaten those odds. So that has been my reason for doing the carnivore.
Excellent reasons.
Awesome.
All right, Miss Rhonda. No, Rebecca.
All right, so ready, we are going to ask people to shout out their questions, and a little bit later on, we are going to answer as many of them as we can. So go ahead and start putting your questions in the comment box, and we will do our best to get to everyone and see if you want an answer from a specific panel member, please go ahead and shout them out. Otherwise, whoever feels like they have the best input for that question is just going to volunteer and do their best.
Okay, so now we're going to share our personal wins and successes from the past week related to our carnivore journey. So let's celebrate our achievements. So I'll go first. So my recent achievement that I can recall is when I just had a dental hygiene appointment, and I was just amazed. My dentist, examined my teeth, and after my cleaning, first of all, I want to say this is the first time that I can recall where I had a cleaning with no gum bleeding at all. Usually my gums would bleed all the time. So no gum bleeding, hardly any tartar to scrape off. And then when my dentist came in, Dr. H. He, looked at everything. He goes, "Your teeth are looking better and better every time I see you." So that was like the biggest compliment. And to me, that's a non-scale victory of this carnivore lifestyle. I just credit my diet change to my healthy gums and teeth.
Wonderful. Wonderful. So I would say that my success for this week is I have integrated each week I'm doing a 72-hour fast. And I feel like my success this week is that it's just been so much easier fasting being a carnivore versus when I did keto. I felt horrific the first day, every single time. And I don't have that. The other thing is that I always work out. I either do kickboxing, lift weights, run on the treadmill. I have a rebounder. I have to be moving. And I find that I have much more stamina this last week. I really noticed that. So that has been mine for this week.
Well, that's good. See, look there. You can put the food away. I'm telling you, my husband and I come to your house if something happens, and baby, she gonna protect us too because she kickboxes.
Yes,
So
I
for
do.
me, yeah. So a small win for me actually came from Frederick. It's for me, but it came from him that he noticed because, guys, I'll talk about, we call it the bat wing. And
Bat
so he
wings.
informed me that my wings were firming up a little bit.
Hey,
Yay!
that's awesome.
He say, "Babe,
Excellent.
look, it for some reason they don't look like how they used to." So let me just encourage people at this point because I have not lost weight. All right, so I've lost 50 pounds since February, but I've been holding pretty much for the last couple of months, so to speak. But my body's changing. So just because you don't see like the scale go down, please note that your body will still change. And so I feel that the changes that I have made will help me not want to have like a skin removal surgery. That it's, it's doing what it needs to do in its timing. And so for me, that was a high five.
Yay!
That is
Yep.
awesome, G. I
Amazing.
love that so much. That's amazing. For me, I just have to take a moment and thank Renee. I see her in here and tell you, Renee, how much I appreciate you buying my tickets to the Carnivore meetup. It was
Yay.
incredible.
What a
It was
blessing. What a
incredible.
Yes,
blessing.
that
And
was.
she called me out specifically and said, "I'm paying for Robin's tickets." And I appreciate that so much.
Wow.
So
Awesome.
this week, the biggest one that I want to kind of call out is I noticed that a friend of mine on Facebook, a Facebook friend that's here local with me, has been changing her diet lately. And I've been posting my videos up on YouTube, and then I also post them up on Instagram, and it pushes it over to Facebook and on TikTok. And I feel like maybe I'm influencing her to make some different kind of choices about her eating. She's given up sugar and she's really changing her eating style, her eating pattern. And so I'm really, if I'm influencing her, that's an amazing non-scale victory for me. So I'm feeling really good about the fact that I'm seeing someone that's actually changing their life by implementing some of the things that I'm talking about.
Yes.
Excellent.
Yeah, that's good.
It's so fun to see that. It's encouraging to me. So for me, the victory was yesterday, and I grew up riding horses, and I was did rodeo and drill team, and it was a huge part of my life. And when you get heavy, it's a lot harder to ride horses, and it's not as safe and it's not as comfortable. And so I have only been on a horse a few times in the last few years, but last night we went to look at a new horse to purchase, and I needed to ride her to make sure she was safe for my kids. And it felt really, really good to be able to get on and work a horse a little bit and just make sure that she was and it felt like home. Like it was, I can't even explain it, what it feels like to, if you don't know that experience, and to be able to do that and not be fearful that I was going to have so much weight that I would come off if she made a sudden movement, or because when you're on a new horse, it's just, you just don't know what it's going to be.
Right.
And I don't know, it got me really excited about the future of like, I'm going to be able to do more in my 40s than I could for a good chunk of my 30s, because I have fewer limitations based on weight and health. So that was really exciting.
Wow.
Wow, congratulations.
Awesome.
That's amazing.
Now we know where a horse is, honey.
Yeah.
Awesome.
All right. So now we are going to move on and talk a little bit about recipes. So we're just going to have a short time here and talk about some of our favorite recipes or recommendations. And this week, I want to shout out something that I do every day. Since I gave up coffee, I like to have a hot drink in the morning, and I have what I call my carnivore latte, even though there's no coffee in it, because it's my substitute for that. And it's basically just a really fatty protein drink, and this helps me to get the fat in that I need. I feel like I've learned, especially as a woman, that I need a lot more fat than my husband does to keep my hormones balanced and to keep really satisfied and to keep making progress on the scale. So I take a hot cup of water or bone broth, depending if I have it. And then I add in a big scoop of tallow, and then a big scoop of butter, and then 2 egg yolks, which everyone like freaks out about, but you don't even taste them once they're in there. And then sometimes a little cream, which is obviously optional. And then I blend it up, and it makes this frothy drink. It doesn't have a lot of flavor. It's if you're just starting carnivore, don't try something like this. Like, it's not going to just suddenly be a magic replacement for coffee. But once your taste buds change, it's just something that's easy. And I am very satisfied in the morning. I'm not usually hungry until midday because of it. And I feel this huge energy boost like I used to get from the dose of caffeine that I was getting every morning. So I highly recommend, if you're looking for a way to get a little fat in a little easier and you're try something new, try it. You never know what it could do for you.
So I have a question, Rebecca. You said about the taste, but do you add salt to it?
I don't usually add salt to it. Our butter is salted, and so that has a little bit from that. I have salted it sometimes. It doesn't make a big difference for me, so I don't.
Okay.
Rebecca, I make the same one that you make, but I do add the element packet, maybe half a packet to it, so it won't be too salty. And that really makes it taste good for me. But I make the same recipe as you.
Oh, that's awesome. We're all on the same page.
Oh, yeah, because I gave up coffee too.
I also gave up coffee, and I've tried G's version of the fatty latte. But I'm definitely going to try the 2 egg yolks, because that sounds absolutely incredible. And I do add salt to mine, so it's a little salty, brothy type tasting. It's really good. So my recipe for this week is I'm doing like cast iron everything. If you don't have a cast iron skillet, you need to have one. Yes. So I just want to talk about a real quick and easy recipe. It's called cast iron chuck roast. Take your chuck roast, heat your cast iron pan up, start it on low, and then continue to increase the heat. Season your chuck roast up, sear it on both sides, and then I cover mine with foil. I put some water in there. So if it's a 3-pound chuck roast, you could probably use 2 to 3 cups of water in there. And then seal it up tight, and you can cook it for 3 or more hours. So it's like a 3-pound chuck roast, 3 cups of water, 3 hours, but I usually cook my chuck roast for 5 hours, and it comes out so tender and delicious, so perfect. So, but you can cook it for 3 or more hours on a 375 degree oven, so pretty hot oven, and it comes out so perfect and delicious. One thing you may want to do is just check your water level. if if your oven cooks hot or something, you want to check your water level in the middle. But it's very easy and very not quick, but very quick to put together, and then it just cooks itself. So perfect recipe.
Sounds delicious, definitely. So, for this last segment here, I'm going to talk about the carnivore lifestyle benefits that I have seen, and then we'll go on with everybody's. Um, Mine, since I had already lost the weight that I wanted to lose with keto, my carnivore has not really been to do anything weight wise, although, kind of like G said, body composition definitely does change. So that's kind of been nice. But for me, it's been brain fog is gone, anxiety, depression has been gone. I'm still a control fanatic, like I'm a little OCD and like things to be in the right place, but I don't lose my mind if I look over and my husband hasn't put something back. I mean, I might roll my eyeballs probably, but I try to not freak out. So that's been better. I think my mood has definitely improved. And then, like I said earlier, definitely more stamina when it comes to working out. I was not somebody who grew up liking to work out because I was obese and nobody wants to see me bounce around and blubber everywhere. So, as I have lost that, I have definitely seen an increase in my energy for those things. So that's been my carnivore lifestyle changes that I've had.
Yeah, I actually will piggyback off of one of those. Uh, Prior to being carnivore, and I was vegan, my back inflammation, well, I know now, well, no, I would always say it's inflamed, that I could turn a cold pack into a heating pad just from the heat off of my back. And a lot of times, bless my husband, I really couldn't pick anything up. It could pull the wrong way. I mean, just anything. And now the running joke is like, I'll get bags out of the car and he's like, baby, I got it. I said, I'm carnivore now. And I grab and I do the things now. I can actually lift things. Yeah, that part for me has been great. And real quick, everybody, if you have any questions, because I have about 3 or 4 in there, we're getting ready to answer those. So put a QQQ in and go ahead and ask those questions. Yes, go ahead, Rhonda. I didn't mean to interrupt.
Oh, no, that's fine. Okay, so my physical benefits since starting carnivore, I did lose weight as well. So I lost from the beginning of my weight loss journey, because before carnivore, I did lose some weight. But altogether, I lost 85 pounds. But
Wow.
since I started carnivore, the additional weight was 35 pounds I lost. But so that was the physical. I also feel like I'm stronger. I've incorporated Sean O'Mara's sprinting protocol. So I think the sprinting too is helping me become stronger in addition to the meat that I'm eating on carnivore. The mental, I feel like I have a little bit more mental clarity. I pretty much don't notice like too much of a difference yet, but I just feel it's a little bit better. I feel like I could think a little bit better and easier than I used to. And as far as emotional, I'm a Leo, so I get, if you push the wrong button, I have a temper, and I used to, like out of the blue, yell at my husband or my daughter. And so I haven't done that since starting carnivore. So I believe that might be another reason my blood pressure came down, because, with the temper and the stress that I used to have, that also increased the blood pressure. So I have an even kill temper. It's like that Zen zone that people say they feel on carnivore. I really feel that. It's even tempered, and it takes a lot to get me upset now. And then the other benefit is, of course, that's non-scale, is the high blood pressure normalizing. And what's interesting is I watched a video today with Dr. Tony Hampton. He was on a live stream with Brian at Carnivore, and he was talking about how now the American Diabetes Association and the American Heart Association, they are embracing this low carb keto lifestyle. So, if people question it, just say, well, those organizations, they support it. And carnivore is just an extreme form of the keto diet. And also what's interesting is that on the American Heart Association's website, they had to add an addendum to their endorsement of this diet lifestyle. And they are kind of like put a little warning to people: if you are doing a keto diet, be careful because your blood pressure will drop. It'll come down. And that's a good thing, especially for people like me who had high blood pressure. So that's why it worked for me, because I was on that strict carnivore, which is the keto version. I mean, it's a keto diet, basically. It's a stricter version is carnivore. So those were my benefits that I received. Physical, mental, and emotional, yes.
Yep.
And emotional, I'm happier. It's amazing.
So for me, the obvious one is I lost close to 50 pounds. I still have a little more to go, but I've made such dramatic progress that my husband always tells me the weight will just come off in time, that it's our bodies are just adjusting, and they all adjust at different rates and time frames. And we tend to try to look at when we have plateaus as that maybe your body's just working on healing something else right now. And so they can only do so many things at once. And so that's the way we look at it. I've been at a plateau for a while, but I'm so much more comfortable than I used to be. I'm about the same weight I was when I got married 17 years ago, which is exciting.
Amazing.
But my comfort, my proportions are better. You look at my face from those younger pictures, you can see the inflammation in my face and in my neck, and you can see it in my belly as well, and it just in my legs. And so I feel much more feminine in my shape and more streamlined, which is always really fun for just personal aesthetics. It's enjoyable. The other ones, though, are things I never would have expected, like the mental clarity, the brain fog that people always talk about. I didn't even know it was there. And then when it lifts, you're like, oh, wow, I didn't know that I was trying to like swim through something thick every day is what it felt like. And the consistent energy is huge. I would have carb and caffeine crashes in the middle of the day, and I always just feel like I needed it. If I sat down for too long, I would fall asleep, or I would need a nap. And the only way to combat that was more sugar and more caffeine, which just caused me to be up and down all day long, which caused me to be really moody as well. And so this, where I wouldn't say my hormones are even, they are definitely in a much more healthy place and I feel like a much more natural fluctuation. So that is huge for me as well. And some of the little aches and pains that I thought were coming from aging, like a sore knee, and those are going away, or if not gone. And so I feel stronger. I feel more capable. And so that's the big benefits for me.
That's awesome, Rebecca.
Amazing.
So for me, that's absolutely incredible, actually. All of you guys' benefits have been amazing. I just love hearing. I love hearing all of the amazing benefits that everybody is achieving on this way of eating. For me, I lost about 20 pounds, almost 20 pounds, or maybe a little over 20 pounds. I didn't really weigh myself right at the time that I started because I really wasn't starting it for weight loss, although I knew that I would probably lose some weight, and I still have some weight to lose. But I did it for other reasons. So like IBS with constipation, that was a big thing. Now I've noticed that certain things that I eat will cause that to flare up. And so just knowing the body cues, like your body's going to tell you when you're eating something that it does not agree with. It's like, don't eat any more of that, or you're going to have this problem or that problem. Mine is constipation. So you guys may have seen I was eating some chomps. I cannot eat chomps because they cause an eczema flare, and they also cause constipation, which is so strange because they have good, clean ingredients. You wouldn't expect that. My anxiety is greatly reduced. I felt so proud of myself. I got on the highway a couple of weeks ago, coming back from the farm, and I have not gotten on the highway since last year because I was so anxious about it. So I got on the highway and drove home. And what I noticed was that my anxiety was greatly reduced, although it was not gone. So that was amazing. I had some joint pain, just like everybody's saying. I have like this bone on bone in my knee. And I was thinking, I'm going to have to move downstairs because basically I'm not going to be able to go upstairs and downstairs with this bad knee. But now, even though it still hurts, I can go up and down the stairs, no problem. So it's not going to stop me from doing anything. Seasonal allergies. Does anybody have that? I have not had yeah, I mean, I have had just a tiny bit. I used to take Zyrtec every single day, twice a day, morning and evening. I would take Zyrtec, and I probably have taken it maybe 10 times over the course of this 8.5 months that I've been on Carnivore. So that's pretty good. And then I think the main one that's really cool is the food freedom. Like, I do not have to continually think about food. What am I going to eat? When I go there to this place, are they going to have anything that I can eat? Maybe I should bring a dish. All these things that used to constantly run through my mind that I thought were normal around food and eating. I noticed that I don't have to deal with that anymore. So that food freedom is really, really awesome. I see this question.
Yes. Is there anyone
I'm not
that would
sure
like
who's supposed to take
that?
the question.
Yeah, it is.
I can't.
Anyone? Go ahead, Laura.
Well, I can't read it because I'm on the phone. If somebody will read it, I'll see if I can.
Oh, okay. I thought you said, you said I can't. Well, it's Kathy Perez, and she's asking, what do we think about fat fasting days and egg pudding? I hate eggs, so I think she said she hates them. So I think I can eat them that way. I'm going to say the egg pudding, but I don't know what egg pudding tastes like. So,
yeah,
I
would
think
say
so.
Yeah, I would say that egg pudding is going to be kind of like a custard. I'm guessing that you use mostly the egg yolk in that. But it's kind of like you, G, where, like we tried to do the baconaise and you're like, some things just need to have something in it. I think when you try to mimic something else, you're going to, maybe if you've been doing it for a long time, but especially when you're first in it, the first year, I think your brain still is like, oh, I remember that taste. Well, then you do it and it's not. So as for fat fasts, I have done those many, many times. I have found that if I hit a plateau of more than 3 months of either better feeling, body composition, one of the people I work with, if they have that we have them do 3 days of fat fasts. Most of the time that's bone broth with additional fat. It could be ribeye bites, things like that. I do think that is very helpful to kind of just reset the body. And I think Kelly Hogan talks about that quite a bit too. But I do think that is a benefit. As for that egg pudding, I don't know. It doesn't sound like anything I want to try.
I would need some I need to know what those ingredients are. I'm not a big.
I know where it may be coming from. If you've ever watched Bella, the steak and butter gal,
oh, that's right.
Does egg pudding, and that's a big part of her regular thing. And I haven't tried it. We always mean to try it, but I know she raves about that. And egg pudding is a dish she grew up on, and so for her, this is a big comfort food. And it gets in. She eats like crazy amounts of eggs, like dozens of eggs every day. So that might be where it's coming from.
I'll find out this pudding, but I will say this, that farm raised eggs, fresh eggs, and store bought are the yolk tastes totally different. So I might look that recipe up because our cousin just gave me 36 country eggs. Yes.
There you go.
All right. I know why.
I'd like to answer this
question. Go right ahead.
Go right ahead. So, so in the spring, my husband and I went on a trip to Florida, and during that time, we went to Golden Corral, and then my in-laws flew in, and we went to Golden Corral 2 more times because that's my in-laws' favorite place to eat. I did eat there. I didn't see any hamburger patties there. Like they didn't have hamburgers like bunless or with a bun or any otherwise. But I ate the steak. And the steak is I would call it a low quality steak. I guess maybe it's sirloin or something like that.
Yeah.
And it's marinated in something. So I would be careful. But if there's no other choice, I would eat the steak, and that's about the only thing that I would eat at Golden Corral is the steak. They do have like grilled chicken there. It's very dry. It's like,
Yeah.
so the only thing that I ate when I went there was I ate steak. I ate a little bit of pulled pork. But they didn't have a lot of options that didn't have something, So I just ate the steak.
I'm going to save my reply. He and I, we won't talk about this show afterwards. We're going to talk about it live, our new show on Wednesday, Lunchtime with the Browns, where we address just things and stuff that has happened. And we're going to talk about that Golden Corral trip that we just took. Yes. So Robin Matthews has a question. How did you guys mentally overcome the idea of just eating meat? The conditioning that I grew up with is hard to overcome. I'm scared that maybe I'm wrong and that I really do need some fruit and vegetables. Who want to take
You have to know your why. Your why has to be stronger than the fear that you have. And there are so many thousands of people out there that are out online for you to be able to see. I'm a medical person and I see it every day improving people's lives. I've taken care of vegans, fruitarians, which I had never even heard of. And they're super sick, and I'm not throwing shade on them. That's what they choose to do, but they're sick. My own doctor is a vegetarian and spent my whole hour at my appointment this year on my labs, throwing my labs down, going, "How are you healthier than me? How come your vitamins are all normal?" And I said, "Well, because you eat the grass that you can't break down, and I eat the beef that eats the grass and he breaks it down." So I think you just have to sit down and think of what is your why and what do you want on the other end? What are you trying to get to? And then take some time to watch all these different people that are out there. A lot of the doctors, Dr. Berry, Chafee, Kiltz, Baker, and just, yes. And just figure out what your why is and write it down. I still have my why from 1991. The paper's yellow now because it's been a while, but I do still have it. I kept it because I never wanted to forget that. So that's what I would do.
Kathy came back to say, yes, Laura, it's a recipe Kelly Hogan has on her channel, just trying to learn to eat eggs because of the, what is that?
Choline.
Yeah, which is good for you.
This is where, because I like to, I really try and show everybody's comment. And then we have this one. What's the plan for Thanksgiving holiday if staying on the plan? I am staying on my plan. Life is miserable when I'm not.
Yep.
Yes.
Same.
I'm staying on the plan.
What about you ladies?
Yep. We are a no cheat family.
She might. Rhonda, little pie.
I might have a pumpkin pie since I'm making it, but next day I'm going back on track. I'm sorry, Laura.
No,
we're asking you.
Yeah. And Rhonda, I was going to say something yesterday and we ran out of time. When I was doing keto and I would make the pumpkin pie for everybody, I did use like honey instead of sugar, and I actually made it crustless and everybody loved it. You actually can do that too. I don't know if you have that, but that's what I did back then when I was doing that.
That's what I
But for
did too.
this Thanksgiving, I plan on doing just like every day. I'm just going to eat meat, salt, and water.
Okay.
And I know my kids already asked if we could do what we did last year, and that's where we'll make a ham, and only because we don't really love turkey, so we just don't do that. But I'll make a ham, and then we also put out kind of a meat and cheese spread. So I will get a bunch of fancy cheeses, like Gouda and Brie and just cheese curds and white cheddar, or just they're not super exotic, but just a variety of flavors, ones we haven't tried before, just being like, hey, what's that, let's try that and see if it's weird tasting or not, and cut them up into little bites and just set them out. And then we'll get a lots of fun meats that we don't eat a lot of, like pastrami and salami and pepperoni and little sausages and things like that, and cut them up in little bites. And we get sparkling water, and we just kind of feast on that. And my kids love it, and it's a lot of fun. And that for us is a huge treat, just having that variety of finger foods. And then the rest of the day, if anyone's still hungry, we'll just eat what we normally eat. So that's enough celebration for us as a family.
Yeah, very good. Well, Rebecca, before you wrap this up for us real quick, Ellie, there are burger patties. Wednesday, I'm going to tell you how to get them. I'll tell you Wednesday how to get them. They do have them, though. Okay. They do. Okay, so go ahead, Laura, Rebecca, wrap us up.
Absolutely. So our theme today was embracing the carnivore lifestyle, and that looks different for different people. And that's one reason we have brought this panel together, is because we have a lot in common, but we are also very unique in our approach to this, our needs, our health, our family, our choices, and hoping to like this so that it is accessible to other people, that you can see it doesn't have to look one way. You don't have to be, beef, butter, bacon, and eggs is your only thing, although that's a great choice. You don't have to be really, you can be as focused and strict about it as you want to be, or as flexible as you want to be. It depends on your needs. It depends on your goals. I love that, Laura, talking about what is your why? Is your why, I want to lose 150 pounds, or is your why, I'm trying to cure my eczema, and I'm trying to bring my blood pressure down? And that may affect how you choose to approach this, and then figuring out what works for you, because this is a lifestyle. We tell people this is not a diet. This is a way of eating. This is a lifestyle for us. This is how we approach life now. This is not something we do until we make it to some goal, and then we stop and go back to the way we were, because the way we were was killing us. So this is where we're doing now, just as a family. And on that note, I just want to shout out, if everybody could do us a huge favor and like and subscribe, because wherever you are watching this helps us get the word out there broader and bigger. And that is our goal, is to just share this carnivore lifestyle, and leave a comment and continue as you are watching, or if you're watching this on rewatch, comments are still great. We will get back and try to follow up as best we can with people on our channels. And make sure to follow all of these ladies. We have Carnivorous Grandma, Carnivore Leo, Eat to Your Health with Carnivore, the Carnivore family, and Hanging with the Browns. And every one of these ladies brings a different thing to the table. So find what works for you, what inspires you, and stick with it.
Perfect. Absolutely. That actually will close out, because I was just going to do some final remarks. One of the things that I did put up is the Carnivore Cruise. You have until November the 20th. I had that information up. Let's just see. There is the website for you to book your room. It'll be $200 for the room, $100 per person, but you're going to get 50 of that back when you get on board. So we want to say thank you. We hope you guys listen. I wrote some notes on this one because the show is getting ready to switch up, because next week I'll be on the cruise. I'm spending my Thanksgiving on a cruise ship, and I'm going to have everybody to cook me something, and I don't have to clean.
Yep.
Nice.
Thank you guys, and we will see you Monday.
See you Monday. Bye.